Picture this: the United States, often celebrated as the land of opportunity, innovation, and wealth, grappling with a shadow crisis that's impossible to ignore. Beneath those soaring skyscrapers and bustling streets, a different story unfolds. It's a story etched in the faces of individuals and families struggling to survive, their homes not brick and mortar, but tents, doorways, and shelters bursting at the seams. Beneath the bright lights of America's largest cities, where dreams are built and fortunes made, lies a sobering reality, a homelessness epidemic spiraling out of control. Stay with us as we explore the stark realities of homelessness in America's most iconic cities. We're going to peel back the layers of this crisis, examining the systemic failures, the economic disparities, and the human stories often lost in the statistics. The truth may shock you, but it's a story that needs to be told. Let's dive in. Alright, let's start with the city that never sleeps, shall we? New York, a global beacon of ambition and success, is also a city grappling with a stark homelessness crisis. You see, the image of New York as a playground for the rich and famous? Well, that narrative conveniently forgets about the thousands struggling to simply keep a roof over their heads. The reasons are as complex as the city itself. We're talking skyrocketing housing costs that would make even a Wall Street banker wince, stagnant wages that haven't kept pace with the cost of living, and a steady influx of immigrants, many seeking a better life but finding themselves priced out of the very dream they came for. Now the city's not just twiddling its thumbs here. They've rolled out initiatives, converting hotels and even office buildings into shelters. But the sheer scale of the problem is like trying to put out a 5-alarm fire with a garden hose. Migrants, some fleeing unimaginable hardships, find themselves navigating a bureaucratic maze, often met with suspicion and hostility. And longtime New Yorkers, families who have called this city home for generations, are being priced out, forced to choose between paying rent and putting food on the table. It's a tale of two cities, really, one of glittering penthouses and Michelin-starred restaurants, the other of overcrowded shelters and families struggling to stay afloat. And the gap between them? Well, it's more like a chasm. Now, let's head west to the City of Angels, where the sunshine and palm trees often mask a darker reality. Los Angeles, the land of Hollywood dreams and endless summers, is also a city of stark contrasts. Here, multi-million-dollar mansions cast long shadows over sprawling homeless encampments, a constant reminder of the chasm between the haves and the have-nots. The cost of living here? Well, let's just say it's enough to make you want to sell your screenplay and move to, well, anywhere else. The influx of people chasing fame and fortune, combined with limited affordable housing options, has created a perfect storm for this crisis. And it's not just about the cost of housing. We're talking about the lack of mental health services, the opioid epidemic that's ravaged communities, and the ever-present threat of gang violence that traps many in a cycle of poverty and despair. Skid Row, a notorious area in downtown LA, has become a symbol of this crisis. But let's be clear, this isn't just a Skid Row problem, it's a Los Angeles problem. It's a microcosm of the challenges facing cities across America. A stark reminder that even in the land of opportunity, the American dream remains out of reach for far too many. Now let's journey north to Seattle, a city known for its natural beauty, its thriving tech industry, and increasingly, its struggle with homelessness. You see, Seattle, the Emerald City, is grappling with a crisis fueled by a booming tech sector that sent housing costs soaring faster than a SpaceX rocket. We're talking about a city where even six-figure salaries can leave you struggling to make rent, and for those already on the margins, the situation is even more dire. Places like the Jungle, a sprawling encampment under a freeway overpass, have become grim symbols of this crisis. The Jungle, my friends, wasn't some Amazonian rainforest, but a stark illustration of the city's failure to address the root causes of homelessness. Now, Seattle has made efforts to clear these encampments, but simply pushing people from one location to another is about as effective as putting a band-aid on a broken leg. It doesn't address the underlying issues of poverty, addiction, and mental health that contribute to this crisis. And here's the thing about Seattle. It's a city of jarring contrasts. You have tech billionaires building empires while just blocks away, people are struggling to survive on the streets. It's a tale of two cities, a stark reminder that even in a place known for its progressive values, the gap between the haves and the have-nots is widening at an alarming rate. Chapter 4: San Diego Paradise Lost, Homelessness Found. Now, let's head down the coast to San Diego, a city known for its idyllic beaches, perfect weather, and, unfortunately, a growing homeless population. You see, San Diego, America's finest city, is struggling to live up to its nickname for a growing number of its residents. The sunshine and palm trees mask a harsh reality for those without a place to call home. The city's appeal as a tourist destination and a desirable place to live has driven up housing costs, pushing homeownership further out of reach for many. And for those already struggling, finding an affordable place to live is like trying to find a parking spot at the beach on a summer day, nearly impossible. Temporary shelters are often overcrowded and offer little in the way of long-term solutions. Cleanup initiatives, while well-intentioned, often result in homeless individuals being shuffled from one location to another, their belongings confiscated, their sense of dignity further eroded. It's a cycle of displacement that does little to address the root causes of the problem. San Diego, like many cities across America, is grappling with the uncomfortable truth that its economic prosperity has come at a human cost. Chapter 5. Washington, D.C., a capital city, grappling with a crisis. Let's move on to Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, a city known for its monuments, its museums, and, increasingly, its visible homeless population. Now, you might expect a city with so much power and wealth to have a handle on homelessness, but the reality is far more complicated. You see, in the shadow of the Capitol building, where laws are made and policies debated, a growing number of Americans are finding themselves without a place to call home. And it's not just individuals battling addiction or mental health issues. We're talking about families, veterans, and a growing number of seniors, many of whom never imagined they'd find themselves in this situation. The rising cost of living, coupled with stagnant wages and inadequate affordable housing options, has created a perfect storm for this crisis. The city has made efforts to address the issue, implementing programs like Housing First, which prioritizes providing permanent housing to those experiencing homelessness. But the need far outweighs the resources available, leaving many stuck on waiting lists, caught in a bureaucratic limbo. And here's the thing about homelessness in D.C. It's a stark reminder that this crisis can impact anyone, regardless of age, race, or background. It's a national shame, a stain on the conscience of a nation that claims to value compassion and opportunity for all. Chapter 6. San Francisco, Tech Boom, Housing Doom. Now let's talk about San Francisco, a city synonymous with innovation, technology, and increasingly, a staggering wealth gap that's fueled a visible homeless crisis. You see, San Francisco, the city by the bay, is a place of stark contrasts. On one hand, you have tech giants like Google and Facebook with their billion-dollar valuations and campuses that resemble futuristic playgrounds. On the other hand, you have a growing number of people struggling to survive on the streets, priced out of a housing market that's more competitive than a Silicon Valley pitch competition. The tech boom, while a boon for the city's economy, has also exacerbated the housing crisis. High-paid tech workers have driven up rents, leaving those in low-wage jobs and those experiencing homelessness with even fewer options. Encampments have become a common sight in public spaces, a visible reminder of the city's struggle to address this issue. Now, the city has implemented various programs and initiatives, but the sheer scale of the problem, coupled with the high cost of living, makes finding solutions a constant uphill battle. It's a tale of two cities, a stark reminder that even in a place known for its progressive values and innovative spirit, the American dream remains out of reach for far too many. Chapter 7. Las Vegas, beneath the neon lights, a different kind of gamble. And finally, let's venture to Las Vegas, the city of lights, where fortunes are won and lost on a daily basis, and where a different kind of gamble plays out beneath the glitz and glamour. You see, in the shadows of the casinos, beneath the neon glow of the Las Vegas Strip, a hidden population seeks refuge in a most unlikely of places, the storm drains. That's right, folks, we're talking about a network of tunnels that snake beneath the city, offering a precarious shelter from the scorching desert heat and the prying eyes of tourists. Now you might think these tunnels would be empty, but you'd be wrong. They've become home to hundreds of people, a hidden community surviving on the margins of a city built on excess and entertainment. Life in the tunnels is harsh, dangerous, and often deadly. Flash floods pose a constant threat, and the lack of sanitation and access to basic necessities makes survival a daily struggle. Now, Las Vegas has made efforts to address its homeless population, but the unique challenges posed by those living underground require a different approach, one that goes beyond simply clearing out encampments or offering temporary shelter. It's a reminder that homelessness takes many forms, and that even in a city known for its extravagance, there are those who are struggling to survive in the shadows. America's homelessness crisis is a complex and deeply rooted issue. It's a story of economic inequality, systemic failures, and the human cost of neglect. We've journeyed from coast to coast, shining a light on the harsh realities faced by those experiencing homelessness in America's major cities. The cities we've explored today reveal just how far-reaching and multifaceted this crisis is. But here's the thing. Awareness is the first step toward change. By understanding the realities of homelessness, we can push for policies that address root causes, advocate for affordable housing, and support community initiatives working tirelessly to make a difference. If this video moved you, don't let the story end here. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's spark the conversations needed to drive action. Together, we can shine a light on this crisis and work toward solutions. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.